My journey, I was doing my practice teaching in my senior year at South Carolina State University in 1974, and I got a call from Bill Nunn a couple of days after the draft, and he said that, "Are you aware that you were not drafted?" I said, I'm keenly aware because you had 17 rounds and I wasn't picked in any one of those rounds." He said, "Well, would you be interested in signing with us as a free agent?" I said, "Well, I got to talk to my coach, Coach Willie Jeffries, and um, by the time I got back from doing my practice teaching on campus, I had a couple more offers from Denver and the Houston Oilers as a free agent. So I sat in the office and talked with Coach Jeffries, and he said, 'You need to go to Pittsburgh, man.' I said, 'Coach, why you say that?' He said, um, they like they like motivated players. They like players who are self-motivated and hard workers. And you fit right in with them." And Coach, and I heard Bill Nunn told me, "Coach, no, it doesn't care where you come from." So I signed with Pittsburgh.
And the second part was that, what's your thoughts on there not being one HBCU player selected in this past draft?
Uh, I find that incredible, disturbing, because I know there's a lot of talented people out there. You just got to search for them and give them opportunity. Um, I think that's what Doug Williams is doing regarding having some players selected from the HBCU schools and giving the player opportunity. There's a lot of talented players in HBCUs, but we have to give them opportunity.
Well, thank you for representing us in the NFL and now in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Mr. Shell.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Let's go to Jake, and on deck, Joe Rutter.
Hey, Donnie, congratulations on making the Hall of Fame. I wanted to ask you about the Steel Curtain, which you got to be a part of. You were there for all of it. You didn't play a lot in 76, as far as I know, but you were still there. So first of all, what was that season like? Because you guys lose Bradshaw, right? It all seems lost probably, and the defense just goes basically berserk and crushes everybody in their path. And then also just a second part to that, what was just the experience with, the Steel Curtain? What was it like just being there, being a part of that defense as a whole?
It was great, man. I'll tell you. I heard about Joe Green, and I said, "Well, man, I don't think this guy's really that good." We played the Cleveland Browns. He started to rush to passer and couldn't do it, and it's almost like a zone blitz where the defensive lineman attack his offensive lineman. He dropped back into the linebacker position, intercepted the ball, and was running for a touchdown. Saw he couldn't make it, so he allowed back to JT Thomas, and JT went in for a score. I said, I'm a Joe Green fan now. But it was great. It was great. Joe Green, LC Greenwood, Fats Holmes, those guys were tremendous. It had a great secondary, Mel Blount, JT Thomas, Glenn Edwards, and Mike Wagner at the time. And I was playing mostly nickelback my rookie year. But it was those guys was great athletes, but they were great men and men of character. I think that's really what set us apart as a team.
Thanks, Jake. Over to you, Joe Rutter, and on deck is Chris Daly.
Yeah, Donnie, you waited all this time, to get to the Hall of Fame. Then you have to wait one more year because of the pandemic. What has that wait been like, and what would it mean over these next 3 weeks to get to this point? And secondly, what's it mean to go in with another safety from the Steelers like Troy Polamalu?
Well, the way that I've grown to, I learned a lot of patience over that wait, but it was a good wait. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. I was not discouraged because I knew I had the numbers. It's just a matter of time. But it wasn't easy because you go through different feelings and emotions. But you got to keep your faith in God. I believe in God and God's timing, and His timing was for me in the Centennial class. So it's a great award. and I'm really glad that I'm able to be with my teammates, my former teammates now that are already in. Going to with Palomalu, he's a great safety man, great talent. Yeah, I think they use him very wisely. Coach LeBeau used him as a defensive coordinator, used him very wide, used his talent, and got the most out of him. You never know where he was going to line up or where he was coming from.
Chris Daly and then Mark Cavoli.
Hey, Donnie. So a lot of NFL greats all have a play that really defines their career and it's like the highlight of their career. And for you, it was that hit on Earl Campbell. It was probably so hard it could be heard from China. So where does this play rank amongst your all-time NFL moments? And I'm just curious as to what were your teammates' reaction on the sidelines after that hit?
It ranks number one, but closely behind it is the 3 interceptions I had against Brian Sipe in one game versus Cleveland. But that play, it propelled us into the AFC Championship. I think Earl Campbell had 80 yards at halftime. I looked around, Joe Green knows. I said, if he keeps playing like that, we're not going to advance in the playoffs. So my teammates were very excited about that play because it kind of knocked him out of the game, and we were able to secure the win for the AFC Championship.
And we in the Canton and Cleveland area would like to thank Donnie Shell for probably having most of his 51 career interceptions against the Browns. Mark Cavoli and then Albee.
Hey, Donnie, I need to ask you about one of your other Hall of Fame members and teammates, Jack Lambert. He was always viewed as a mean and unusual guy. You came in with him. Was he always that type of way? And did you have any stories about him and all the years you played with him of him being, maybe a little bit out there?
Well, Jack was the most intense player I played with on the Steelers. I mean, he had the intensity every week. It's very hard to stay at that level for 16 games. 14 when we came in, they added 2 more, so we played 16 games. But in practice, in the game, he always had that intensity. I think it's just one of his gifts. But he was very intimidating, and he didn't take any stuff from anybody to oppose our opponents, and he would take up for all our teammates.
Hi, Donnie.
Thanks, Donnie. Albee and then Brian Batko.
Thank you very much. Hi, Donnie. Nice
How
to
you
talk
doing?
to you again. I'm doing well. Thank you. Donnie, can you talk about, you just talked about joining your former teammates in Canton and how special that is. Would you talk about that 1974 rookie class and how remarkable it is that there are now 5 Hall of Famers from that class? And how proud are you that as an undrafted player in that group of rookies that you have joined those others?
I'm very proud. That's one of the things that I expressed earlier, that I'm proud to be with my former teammates now. And I was talking to Joe Green, and he said that, I was talking to Franco Harris. He said, in my rookie year in training camp, he said, "Hey, Rook, we're going to the Super Bowl." They got knocked out a couple of times with Miami, and they faked the punt on them, and the Raiders knocked them out. And he was saying, I said, "Well, yeah, I guess you are going to the Super Bowl because you guys, the ship was sinking on the back end, and now you got all these rookie players in here that can help you." So we kept the ship from sinking.
Thank you.
Let's go to Brian Batko and then Darren Gant.
Hi, Donnie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're finally getting in. Bill Nunn's finally getting in. There's not many stones still unturned from the steel curtain, but what would it mean to you if someday LC Greenwood does get that honor, even though he's no longer here to see it? I think there was just a research done that said he actually had more sacks than anybody else in that defense, from people who went back and studied all those plays. What would that mean to you if LC eventually gets this nod as well?
It'll be a tremendous award for him and also his family and for me. LC was very unusual. He's about 6'8", about 260, but you can remember we played a 4-3 defense, and he was just as good a run defender as a pass rusher. And a lot of people don't realize that because I played on his side. I was on the strong safety. Jack Ham was outside linebacker. LC was the defensive end, and he played the run as just as well as he was tremendous as a pass rusher.
Thanks, Brian. Darren Gant, and then Elise Robinson.
Donnie, hi, good to see you again. Just wanted to ask a couple questions. Number one, does going in at the same time as a Bill Nunn make this more meaningful to you?
Absolutely. Bill was a great person, and a lot of people don't know he was one of my mentors and a lot of mentors of a lot of my former teammates. It's a tremendous honor for him and for the people who knew him and his family. He was a manager in training camp, and he had side conversations with us and encouraged us always to do your best when you went out to practice.
And for all those Steelers that you're surrounded by now in Canton, was there ever a part of you that wondered if you had played somewhere else where you weren't surrounded by so many stars that maybe you would have been here sooner, that you might have stood out on your own to a point where you would have gotten this kind of recognition earlier?
No, I prefer to play with the steel curtain. I think it helps a lot when you play cover two in 1001, 1002, and 3. Then the quarterback is sacked. No, I prefer to play with my teammates. I think I made the right decision. I almost went to Denver, but I didn't. I signed with Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Donnie.
Elise, and then Vernon.
Hi, Donnie. How are you?
Good.
I am Elise from Sports and Culture. So first off, congratulations on making it. I too am from South Carolina. So to see that you were born here and then played college ball down in Orangeburg at SC State. My question is, how does, and it may have been asked already, I kind of came in late after talking with Troy, but how did it feel to be undrafted, but also signing with Pittsburgh and in that same year going to the Super Bowl? Like, just talk me through that.
It was great. It's a tremendous opportunity. I think I was prepared for it because Coach Willie Jeffries came my senior year. I think I might have been one of the first hybrid players to play with the Steelers. I was an outside linebacker in college, and Coach Jeffries switched me to the strong safety and introduced the 4-3 defense to me my senior year in college. So in my college defensive back coach, he played with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I had a grasp of the pro system before I got to Pittsburgh. And I think that really helped me.
Okay. Thank you.
Vernon, and then Mark Holmes.
Congratulations, Mr. Shell, on making the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I am VJ Vernon Husky from Best in Sports. My question to you is, coming out of an HBCU in the mid-'70s, just kind of talk me through that, because it's a lot different now. They don't even take our guys, but even back then, I'm pretty sure there were some challenges. And shout out to South Carolina State. And I have background in South Carolina. My grandmother lives in Gaffney on Boiling Springs Highway, so I spent a lot of hot summers down there in South Carolina growing up as a kid. But
playing against Boiling Springs in high school.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And my niece played volleyball at South Carolina State. Talk me through coming from an HBCU in the '70s, where there was still a lot of tension from racial tension coming from those colleges, and then coming to a city like Pittsburgh and playing, just some of the challenges that you might have faced back then.
Well, you go into a team where they already had a pretty good defense, and then you're wondering how you're going to make the team. So I had a strategy, I had a plan to be the #1 conditioned player in training camp. I could control that. The next thing was to be the smartest guy in camp. I control that by viewing video. So, and to whatever they asked me to do, to give 100%. So I was trying to make my niche. I know I couldn't break the starting lineup, so I had to make my niche somewhere. So then I learned about the special teams and how important that was to Chuck Noll. He said it's 1/3 Donnie, 1/3, 1/3 makes the whole. So that was my niche, playing the special teams and the nickel back on third downs. I carved my niche out that way.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Mr. Shell.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mark Holmes, and next would be Jeff Hathorn.
Congratulations on being elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I hate to say it, but you broke my heart as a kid growing up being a Dallas Cowboy fan. But I'm so happy to see safeties getting so much love this year in the Hall of Fame. What was it like, or excuse me, what does it mean to you to join so many with the embarrassment of riches of Steelers and Cowboys that are in the Hall of Fame? What does this mean to join your brethren?
It's just like the camaraderie that I had with them when we played and still have with a lot of them now. It's going to be more exciting when I get to Canton and put on that gold jacket, and then I'll be reunited with them again. So it's an exciting journey. It was a long journey. Everybody got different paths to success, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, congratulations, and it's well deserved. 51 interceptions is amazing.
Thank you. And they weren't throwing the ball that we only averaged 13 passes a game back in the 70s.
Ouch. Wow.
A little trivia there.
Let's go to Jeff and then Fago.
Hey, Donnie, Jeff Hathorn from KDK Radio in Pittsburgh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When you played for the Steelers, times were tough. I mean, economically for the city. What was it like to be a part of that uplift, and what was your relationship like in the community? What did you think of being in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh was a great community town, city. And I learned a lot from Mr. Rooney, the chief. Back then, he was very active in the community. So I got involved with the community, speaking to high schools and elementary schools and about encouragement. So they just was a hard-working blue collar town, and they fit my MO. And they're very loyal, very supportive, support you when you win, and you didn't play well, they got on you. So they knew their football, so you had to play well all the time.
All right, Fago, and then Brian Diardo.
Hey, how you doing, Donnie?
Great.
Fago Franklin III. I'm well. Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. It's a two-part question. Everyone talks about the progress and how the process of life molded you into a better leader. Talk to me a little bit about what molded you into a better leader on and off the field. And my second question is, what does it mean to you to see more women being seen in executive jobs in the NFL?
Well, I think that was one of my gifts of being hardworking and self-motivated. I didn't need anybody to motivate me. I just needed my assignments and what I needed to do, and I would carry those out, and I did it 100%. I remember in high school, man, we lost the game, and I thought we should have won, and I cried. I said, I'll never cry again, because you know why? Because I'm gonna give 100% in practice, 100% in every game, and I'm not gonna ever cry anymore from losing the game. So that motivated me. And for women, I think it's great. It's great to have females involved with the National Football League. It's a great opportunity for all.
Thank you.
Brian, and then Quentin.
Hey, Donnie, congratulations. I know the Earl Campbell hit is one that's obviously gotten a lot of fame, but there's actually a play early in Super Bowl 14 where Wendell Tyler was off, looked like it was going to be a touchdown, and you actually slipped on the play, and then you actually ran back and made a tackle. That I just thought that was a great example of how you never gave up and those defenses never quit until the whistle. But about that steel curtain defense, two-part question. The first one, how would that defense play in today's NFL? And the second question is, where did the nickname Torpedo come from?
I think we would play very well in today's times because they're very talented guys up front, man, and they set the tone for everybody. And we have some pretty good secondary too. I think everybody played back there were all pros. And the name Torpedo, it came from everybody. Everybody was nicknamed by Dwight White. He said, hey, you going down to the special team, man, you busting that windshield. I'm going to tell you right now, you're a torpedo. That's who you are.
That's awesome. Thank you.
We'll go next to Quentin and then James Harris.
Hey, Donnie, how you doing? Thanks for conversating with me. I'm Quentin Congress of Talking and Grubbing Media. This is a two-part question. Who were the toughest players to go against back in your era? And also, what were your memories of playing against the Cleveland Browns?
Toughest players, Cliff Branch with Oakland, Isaac Curtis, wide receiver with Cincinnati. Of course, Earl Campbell with Houston. And Pete Johnson with Cincinnati also, got a big fullback, about 260, running 4.5. And the second part, the question?
What were your memories playing against the Cleveland Browns back in the 70s in the Browns-Steelers rivalry?
It was always competitive. You never knew who was going to win. I remember one time we went up there and we scored 40-some points, and they scored 45 points. And we ended up winning, I think, 51-45 or something of that nature. But they're always very competitive games.
All right, thank you.
We'll go next to James Harris and then Don Stenson.
Thank you, Rich. Donnie, wanted to ask you about your journey growing up and obviously being undrafted. Your just your thoughts and memories of the dream to play pro football and when it actually became a reality for you, because it was definitely a different path, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, actually, I had no inkling I was going to ever play pro football. I went to school to be a high school football coach and teacher from the influence of my high school coach, Coach Lefty Johnson. I wanted to give back and help other people and do what he did for us. He cared about us more than just on the football field. But the journey was it was a long journey. You come from a free agent, you're not going to get many chances in training camp. I remember a guy walking to me. I had a pretty good practice in the morning and afternoon. The reporter asked me, could I interview you later in the afternoon? I said, sure, let's go sit out under the street. He said, well, Mr. Shell, you know what? Are you aware that you're a long shot to make this team? I said, wow, is that right? You know, I said, but that's not what my college coach, Willie Jeffers, told me in South Carolina State, the Bulldogs' tenacity. He said, I got the greatest chances anybody that come from UCLA or Notre Dame or whoever they are. I said, you must not be used to the SC State tenacity. But, you know, he was factually right, because I wasn't going to get many reps. But sometimes you got to go against the grain of what is true to achieve your goal. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged. Just keep working hard and you'll get there.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Don, then Nick.
Congratulations, Mr. Shell, on your Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Have you started working on your speech? And the second part to that is there an unsung, maybe coach, player, person that has helped you to get to this position?
I have completed my speech. We're only going to get 6 to 8 minutes. It's not going to be very long, but I think you're going to enjoy it. And the second question was?
Is there an unsung coach, player, person that has helped you get to this position?
Yes. I can't say one. I will say many people have helped me in my life regarding being able to encourage me. from my teachers to the coaches, and wherever area I've been, I always got help from other people. And that's why I want, especially when I go and speak with young people, I tell them, don't ever give up on your dreams. And what my coach did for me and my teachers, they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself as being a young teenager, and they encouraged me. So I tell all adults, if you see that one thing in a person that a young person, you can encourage them and do it, because that's how I got help. That's how I got encouraged. And that's what I want to do now. I want to give back and help other people like I was helped.
Nick, you're up, and next will be Gene.
Hey, Mr. Shell, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about Mel Blount, because you played with the guy that literally changed the rules of football, and you have a great friendship with him. You and him have communicated that in the past. What was it like playing with Mel Blount, both on the field as a Hall of Fame player that literally changed the way football's played, and off the field where you guys developed such a camaraderie together?
It was great, man. He was a great physical specimen, man. About 6'4", about 220, and ran a great time in the 4.45, 4.4. Had long arms, and one of Mel's great asset was his catch-up speed. I've seen him let receivers run 2 yards by them, and he would suck the quarterback in to throw to that receiver, and he'd run and catch the ball and intercept the ball. But more important than that, he's a great man of character, a great man of God and of character. Regarding the Mel Blount Youth Initiative and Youth Home in Pittsburgh, does a tremendous job. Got me involved with helping young people. He said, "Come on, man, be on my advisory board. I'm gonna start the Mel Blount Youth Home." I said, "Man, you can work with young kids, man. They so hard-headed." He said, "Oh no, Donnie, you just come on out here. You can help them." So I got a lot of respect for Mel.
Thanks, Donnie. Let's go to Gene and then Steve.
Hey, Donnie, congratulations. What advice do you have for safeties today in the NFL who might be trying to model their careers after yours?
No shortcuts in life. You got to work hard. If you're willing to work hard and pay the price, you can do whatever that your heart desire. But you got to put the time in. You got to put the time in and film study. You got to put time in on the field, doing extra things without the coach asking you to do that. I remember when I first got in the league, I couldn't catch a cold, man. Things hit me in the hands, hit me in my helmet. So I stayed out with John Stallworth and Lynn Swan to practice how to catch the ball. So I think that led to 51 interceptions. So you can make your weaknesses one of your assets if you will have the ability to willingness to work hard and be self-motivated.
Hey, thanks, Donnie. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to close out, Donnie, with two more. We'll have Steve, and then VJ Vernon will close it out for us.
All right. Once again, Mr. Shell, just super excited to talk to you, HBCU alum. What would you say to those current HBCU players looking to follow your path into the NFL and that aspire to hopefully one day be in the same seat that you are in today, going into the Hall of Fame?
I said, first of all, I played football and baseball in college. And my determination was to get my degree playing two sports. And I finished playing two sports on time in 4 years. So first of all, get your degree. I was a player development director at the Carolina Panthers in 1994. And that's one of the programs that I coordinated was continuing education. First of all, get your degree. So whatever happens thereafter, you get an opportunity to go and play professional sports. You got something to fall back on. And so people say, "Well, Donnie, what are you doing if you don't make it?" I said, "Well, I'm going back and get my master's degree, and I'm going to be a teacher and a coach." So you got to have number one plan. You got to have number two plan. And if things don't work out with the number one plan, you can always have a number two situation you can go through. And that's what I was going to do if I never made it in pro ball.
Thank you. And Coach Willie Jeffries was one of the best interviews I did. He was at Tennessee State at the time. He was a great man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, last question today.
Yeah, I'm back again, Mr. Shell. Also, too, I got to shout out my HBCU and Alabama State University for myself as a mass communications, journalism, and broadcast student there. Very simple question. Who do you like to watch today? Who's your favorite guy that you like to watch in today's NFL?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I like to watch a lot of guys. I enjoy the game immensely, even if I'm retired now. So I like to watch very talented guys, good receivers, and you know, catching the ball, and running backs. I like to watch all different positions and just see the immense talent that guys have now. I mean, if back in the early 70s, if you were 6'4", 300 pounds, you got cut because you couldn't run.
Yeah.
Now you got guys 6'5", about 380, can run 4'6" and 4'5", man. It's amazing. But I enjoy the game so much. I like to enjoy all the positions and watch the positions and watch how a guy prepares for the game, and also I like to see him go through a little adversity in the game to see how he's going to respond. So I'm looking at all phases of it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Shell.
Welcome.
Donnie, thanks for all the great answers, and thanks to all the assembled media for the great questions. I think we covered a lot of ground, got a lot of great insight, and everybody, I hope you're all in Canton 3 weeks and a day from now to see Donnie and the rest of the Centennial class of 2020 take their rightful spot in the Hall of Fame. So thanks again to everybody for participating.